My peoples, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Boxing junkies, salute my brother Toy Mafia in the building. What's the deal, my peoples? Well, we want to talk boxing. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we get it. Well, speaking about today, um, it's already been out for a few days. Terence Crawford apparently is gonna come back in March. We don't have an opponent. We don't know who he's gonna fight, but we're gonna be talking about possible opponents, predicting, making our predictions, what we think he's gonna do next. I think it's obvious that it's gonna be at 160. He already, said that he had his eye on Johnny Beck. So I think it's obvious, when we predict what Terence Crawford is gonna do next, I think it should be obvious that it's gonna be somewhere in the 160 division, right? So let's see. Let's see what everybody has, what everybody thinks. I have my own opinion. I know what I'd like to see happen, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Boxing junkie. I'm hearing either Johnny Beck or Bivol. Well, honestly, I think Bivol is out of the loop. And I'm just saying that because I don't anticipate that he'll be moving down to 160 to fight Crawford at all. Like, there's no way around it. So, Bivol, we can really get him out of it. Like, that's not happening. And if you think about it, he's going to be coming off a surgery, fought at 175. So, to jump down 2 divisions to face Crawford, and he's not even the champion, man, you can forget about him. He's out the loop. But Johnny Beck, who Terence Crawford specifically pointed out, that's somebody we know who's in the loop right there. When Terence Crawford says, "Hey, I got my eye on you, and good luck on your next fight," it looks like something is already brewing because Johnny Beck already said that that's a fight he will welcome. So at this point, we gotta say Johnny Beck is a front runner, but we have to see how it plays out. Boxing junkie, he said he will move down for Bud, and it's 1 division. I mean, he fought this dude at 175. Bivol fought at 175, and Terence Crawford is going to be fighting at 160. That will be 2 divisions down. But not only that, Bivol doesn't have a title, doesn't have anything to offer Crawford. So it's like Bivol said he will fight him. Guess what? Keith Thurman said he would fight him. Everybody said they would fight him. Everybody said they would fight him. So Bivol got to get in a real long line. Him say he will fight him, that doesn't mean anything, bro. Crawford, he not giving Bivol no shot in the 160. And you have to understand, boxing junkie, Terence Crawford made it clear that he's going down to 160. So at that point, when you start matching them up with somebody at 168, it becomes conspiracy. Because he hasn't said he's going to fight at 168. So maybe you want him to fight Bivol. A lot of people, especially after the beating he put on Canelo, a lot of people want him to fight a bigger guy. That's not going to happen, bro. Him and Bivol, you can forget about that. Whoever said that lied to you, bro. That's not even a possibility. Not even an option. Boxing junkie. But was very interested in being a 168 undisputed. That is correct. And he is already a 168 undisputed. And now he expressed interest in going for 160. He's literally expressed that interest. If you didn't miss it, I could share the link with you, my guy, where he's saying, "I'm going to go fight at 160. Johnny Beck, I have my eye on you." So you're talking about, well, Johnny Beck, he said he would do it. It's not about what Johnny Beck would do, my guy. It's about what Terence Crawford is going to do. And I'm telling you, he's not fighting no Johnny Beck. He's not fighting no Bivol. He's gonna move down and try to. I don't know if he's even gonna try to become undisputed. To be honest, at 160, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But he's already expressed that he's interested in becoming a champion at 160. So no matter how much you try to force Bivol down people's throats, that fight is not gonna happen, bro. You can forget about it. It's gonna be Terence Crawford versus somebody at 160. That I can guarantee you. And I'm telling you that as Estradamus, if you haven't seen enough to know that that's what's gonna happen, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Then I'm gonna have to tell you once again, I told you so. I'm telling you what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, there is zero possibility of Terence Crawford fighting Bivol next. Zero. He will, without a shred of doubt, fight in the 160 division. 100%. So you could throw Bivol's hat in the ring and formulate a good argument for him. He not getting that fight, bro. That I can pretty much guarantee. So if you have any type of expectations or hopes for that one, you're gonna have your heart broken, bro. Your heart is gonna be broken because Crawford is not even Bivol's name is not even in the hat, in the running for that fight. He's gonna be somebody in the 160 division, most likely a champion, and if not a champion, a fighter who's gonna be highly ranked in the division that's gonna lead into a championship fight. One or the other. He's either gonna fight a reigning champion to become a 6th division champion right away, or he's gonna fight somebody that's gonna lead him up to a title fight. One or the other. Promise you that. Bivol brings absolutely nothing to the table. A title defense to appease fans that want him to fight a bigger guy, that's not happening. Like, that. Trust me, bro, that is not happening. Whoever floated Bivol's name, they lied to you, my G. Que habladorazo. Te dije mentira, loco. But I will say, right now, the fighters who actually are in the running for that Terence Crawford fight, for that sweepstake to get in the ring with the face of boxing, Johnny Beck, Lara, and Carlos Adames. Those are the 3 world champions in the 168 division. And we're going to see Johnny Beck has a date with Lara, and Carlos Adames, as of right now, doesn't have a dance partner. He's preparing. I see him in the gym, but I don't know what he's doing next. And I will tell you, my peoples, I spoke to him recently. Privately, I hit him up. And I'm going to see if we could link up soon, so we could talk about his next move. But the champions in the 160 divisions, they're the major players in the game right now for the Terence Crawford sweepstake. I'm telling you. Boxing Junkie and Bivol said he would love to face Bud at 168. Man, listen, everybody would love to face Bud. That's the thing. Right now, everybody would. But everybody ain't getting that shot, Bivol. Got to get in line. And that line is too long. He's not going to make it to the front. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to make it to the front of the line. So, like, that name is not in the hat. Now, if you're at 160 and you got a belt, well, guess what? Crawford want to become a champion at 160. So everybody on there, you got a chance. There's a possibility. Because we're matching, and everybody's matching Crawford up with Johnny Beck, right? People saying, nah, it's going to be Johnny Beck. But what if Johnny Beck loses to Lara? What if he loses? And I'm not telling you that he's going to lose the fight. So I'm going to tell you what, man. Johnny Beck is somebody who, remember he was supposed to fight Boo Boo at one point, and Boo Boo didn't fight him, but they went to purse bid, and I guess the money wasn't enough, something like that. I think Boo Boo versus Johnny Beck is a fight that maybe didn't happen because the business aspect got in the way of it. Cool story. But Johnny Beck is a guy, is a fighter who people have to respect because he can fight. Johnny Beck can fight, my people. And he's a big dude. 5'11". And Terence Crawford is 5'8". So here, this is how you can tell the master that Terence Crawford is. Think about this. Canelo Alvarez, wide, stocky, strong guy, but shorter with less reach. Johnny Beck has the opposite frame as Canelo Alvarez. He's tall, slim. He's going to have a height and reach advantage on Terence Crawford. What does that mean? Simple. That Crawford is going to have to fight a whole different type of fight versus Johnny Beck than he fought versus Canelo Alvarez. And that's how good he is. Johnny Beck presents a whole different set of obstacles. Remember, styles make fights. Remember that. And I told you guys before, Canelo Alvarez had the perfect style for Terence Crawford to show out. I told you guys. And we saw it. Side, salute my brother. Bam! Happy Thursday, my G. You guys know what it is, man. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, my peoples. We talking about Terence Crawford. He's going to be fighting apparently in March. That's what's being reported. But we don't know who's next. Who is Terence Crawford going to fight next? Now, we have to consider the fact that Crawford told Johnny Beck, he posted it, I got my eye on you, champ. Good luck on your next fight. And Johnny Beck has also expressed interest in facing Terence Crawford. So it almost looked like it's the inevitable that Crawford and Johnny Beck will end up sharing the ring. However, there's factors to consider, right? Number one, Johnny Beck has a fight coming up. He has to win that fight. What if he doesn't win? What if he doesn't win? Right? So that has to happen. Number one. And two, what if Erislandis Lara beat Johnny Beck and pulls off the upset? Sad, do you think Johnny Beck beats Lara? I got Johnny Beck beating Lara. Well, Lara, we know what he brings to the table, man. And I keep thinking, he's too old already. That's it. He's going to slow down. He's too old. But he keeps showing the skills, the footwork. He keeps doing it. I don't know how long he's going to be able to do it, but he's facing a top-notch, legitimate champion. So I got Johnny Beck on this one, but I think Lara, can pull it off. Has the skills. But remember, Johnny Beck and Lara are 2 out of the 3 champions in the division. Who's the other one? El Caballo Bronco, Carlos Adames. He's the 3rd champion. In case you guys don't know, there's 3 champions in the division because Johnny Beck is a unified champion. But I have to say, who has the green belt? Carlos Adames. And you guys know about that green belt, my peoples. Come on now. Come on now. It's all about that green belt. You can be unified. You can have this. You can have that. But that WBC title, we know what that's about. And Carlos Adames has it. Should Terence Crawford decide that he's going to pursue the undisputed crown, well, El Caballo Bronco is going to be in the way of that. So that could be the inevitable. So whether that fight happens next or down the line, Carlos Adames is the only way. One way or another, it has to happen. Side, I wonder what Adames is waiting for. Maybe he's Buzz March opponent. I don't know. The thing is that Carlos Adames, he's training for something. He training. He looking strong as hell, bro. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Bro, Carlos Adames looking strong as hell right now. So I don't know. We don't know what's next for him. But I will tell you, son. Carlos Adames told me, yo, we're gonna meet up soon and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about what's next. So salute to Carlos Adames. I look forward to seeing you. Ya tú sabes, Carlos. Nos vamos a ver pronto. Yo quiero saber qué es lo que va a pasar contigo, con quién es que tú vas a pelear, porque la gente quiere saber si es con Terence Crawford. Mírala ahí, la punta. Mira la punta que te están tirando y que, oh, pero Carlos está calladito, cuidado, eso preparándose para Crawford. So, my people, I'ma holler at him and we're going to see what's going on. But again, you guys tell me, who do you think Terence Crawford is going to fight next? Come on now. He got options. We talking about the face of boxing over here, my peoples. Come on now. Who is he going to fight next? And let me just say this. When you're predicting who he's going to fight next, remember, who he's going to fight next is different than who you want him to fight next. We have to differentiate. Underrated Will, good morning. Salute, my brother. Bam! We have to differentiate between who we want him to fight versus who he's actually going to fight, who is realistic. Why? Let's look at the landscape and what Terence Crawford has stated. So to suggest, well, he's going to fight somebody that's at 175 or he's going to fight somebody that's at 154, that's not going to happen. I'm telling you, my people, that's not going to happen. He's going to fight somebody that's going to get him closer to that new crown that he's going to be chasing. And people outside of 160 are not going to do that. So, I think he's going to fight a champ at 160. Underrated Will. Who you want to see him fight? So, I agree with Sai. I think we are going to see him fighting a champion in the 160 division. If not a champion, I think he'll fight somebody that'll lead up to that title fight. So, Terence Crawford is either going to shoot for a title at the 160 division or is going to be one of those fights where after this one, we're fighting a champion. So, underrated Will. Who do I want him to fight? I want him to fight somebody that's going to get him closer to his goal. Now, if it's up to me, I want him to fight Carlos Adames right here in the Dominican Republic. The odds are against it. That's impossible. That's pretty much the impossible. But you ask, who would I want him to fight? I added the where. Side, Crawford has only fought in title fights since winning his belt at 135 from Ricky Burns. This guy's on a crazy run. And his haters, they just don't understand it. I've said it before. Crawford, for years, talking about over 10 years, where he's only fighting former champions, reigning champions, and highly ranked opponents for years. People don't understand that that's how fighters end up losing. They eventually run into somebody that give them adversity and they can't get past it and lose. And Crawford just kept beating everybody who they put in front of him. And here we are. Now he's the face of boxing. That's the reason why. Just kept winning. They kept hating. Crawford kept winning. Ain't that something? So again, my peoples, in my personal opinion, I think it's obvious. It's not even, it's obvious. Terence Crawford is going to fight somebody in the 160 division. We just don't know who. I'd like it to be Carlos Adames. And again, he has the most prestigious title, the WBC, the green belt. He got the green belt, my peoples. So whether or not Terence Crawford fights him next, if he decides to chase that undisputed crown, Carlos Adames is going to be in the way. And they already know each other. They share the ring in sparring. You know, that doesn't mean that we know what happens in a real fight. But you guys saw, everybody saw the viral sparring video between Terence Crawford and Carlos Adames. We all seen it. They traded some serious leather. They was going at it. So maybe that's just a prequel to what we're going to get in a title fight. Now I gotta say, if Terence Crawford is gonna fight in March, like they're reporting, that means that it's not gonna be very long before they announce who's gonna be his next opponent. Because you know they gotta do the pressers, the promotion, all the stuff to the lead up, to the training camps and all that. So I don't think it's gonna be too long before we find out. You know, and when I say it won't be too long, I'm not saying they're gonna tell us tomorrow who's gonna be Crawford's next opponent. But I'm saying within a month and a half, we'll know who he's gonna fight, most likely. Johnny Beck, of course, Johnny Beck is gonna have to fight, because Crawford might call him out after that fight. He said, "Good luck, champ." But I want you to take this into consideration. Let's say Johnny Beck beats Lara. We're assuming that's going to happen, right? That means that Johnny Beck will hold 3 of the titles in the division, and Carlos Adames will hold the most important one, the green belt. So if Terence Crawford moves down and successfully handles Johnny Beck, and he's a 3-belt champion, Carlos Adames will be the only fighter in the way of that undisputed crown. It's the inevitable, my peoples. It is the inevitable. And I'm going to say it in Spanish, too. Let me say this in Spanish real quick, because I want my peoples to understand. Si Terence Crawford baja a las 160 y Johnny Beck le gana a Erislandis Lara, eso significa que Johnny Beck va a tener 3 de los títulos. Eso significa también que si Terence Crawford le gana a Johnny Beck, él va a tener 3 títulos, y el único que falta, si él quiere tratar de ser undisputed, indiscutido, es el título más importante, el de la WBC, el cinturón verde. El cinturón verde es el más importante en todo el boxeo. El caballo bronco, Carlos Adames, es quien tiene ese cinturón verde. Entonces, si Terence Crawford quiere ser undisputed, él va a tener que pasar por allá, por donde El caballo bronco. Es así de simple. It's that simple, my peoples. I want to make sure people understand it in English and in Spanish. If Terence Crawford wants that undisputed crown, he's going to have to holler at Carlos Adames for that green belt. That's all I'm saying. Underrated will hit the like button, my peoples. Damn, for real, man. Ducking that like button the same way Tank Davis ducked Lamont Roach. Underrated will, now for real. Fun time. Bro, do you like potato? No, but you invited to the block party. That's how I'm doing it, my people, this morning. It's too early. It's too early for dumb questions. You want to know if I like potato? Somebody else is going to answer to that goofy-ass question. Boxing Junkie, okay, I'm back. Salute, my brother. Bam. Man, that's how we doing it these days, bro. It's a block party early, too. So, again, my people, I digressed. The Soto Hybrid. Salute, my brother. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't enjoy blocking people. I'm going to try not to enjoy it. Underrated will, subscribe and like. Hell yeah. I'm going to try, I don't think I should enjoy blocking people. So I'm going to try to be more, find a more civil way to get that done. Boxing Junkie. This nigga block games is on point. Yo, I think somehow, somewhere, I'm going to break some type of blocking record, bro. Somehow, someway, pop, pop, pop. The most blocks during a live. But check it, man. We digress. It's not about blocking people. This is about unity over here, right? Terence Crawford is going to have options. Like I said, we're going to speculate until they announce an opponent. It's all going to be speculation. But at the end of the day, I think he made it obvious, what interests him, what he wants. And that's to become a world champion in a 6th division, which is 160. And I've been predicting that. I've been saying that's what was going to happen. Underrated will. Bug got to prove himself again. Please. Oh, people doubted him. I can't doubt him no more. I mean, at one point, there's going to be people that will say, nah, man, that's it. This guy is the guy. And I have people tell me that after the Canelo fight. People who've been hating on him for years and telling me that he didn't beat nobody and he didn't do nothing. Yo, when he beat Canelo the way that he did it, there were some people that told me, yo, Jay, that's it, bro. You got it. He's the guy. You was right all along. There's people that actually humble themselves, bro. I was like, yo, nah, B, I can't keep doing that anymore, bro. This dude. Why? Because they was honestly expecting for Terence Crawford to get knocked out. They thought he was going to get knocked out versus Canelo. And to watch that, instead of continuing to hate, they chose to just accept it. There's people that say, that's it, man. This guy's the guy. 310. Man Ruth. Salute. Bam. Tarzan Ropes. Full weight undisputed before retirement. That's insane. That would be insane. That's why I've been telling people, right now, Terence Crawford is top 10 all-time great. Right now. If he wins a title in the 6th division and surpasses Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather won titles in 5 divisions, if he goes to a 6th division champ where there's only 2 other people in history to do that, Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya. That's it. There's nobody else. That's the list right there. If Terence Crawford joins that company, now we got to talk about top 5 all time. Top 5. But if he goes for undisputed, oh, well, now we're going to have to talk about greatest of all time. Now we're going to have that conversation. Because now he will be a 6 division champion and 4 division undisputed. So for the divisions that he was champion in, he was undisputed. We're not going to see another run like that in our lifetime, my people. I promise you. We're not going to see another run like that. We're not going to see another 4 division undisputed champion. You understand that, my people? We're not going to witness that again. People don't realize, don't comprehend, cannot process the type of history that we're witnessing with Terence Crawford. So when you see the accomplishments and what he's racking up, like he is building legacy, the obvious choice is to go to 160. That is the obvious choice. Go to 160 and become champion in a 6th division. That's the obvious. That's why even before it came out, that, or before he said he was interested in Johnny Beck, I've been telling you guys, he's going to go to the 160 division. Why? Because it's going to allow him to conquer in a 6th division. And now, this what you also have to understand, and I saw it coming. With Johnny Beck fighting Lara, you're going to fight 3 titles in one person. That means that Terence Crawford can fight Johnny Beck and then fight Carlos Adames, and he's undisputed at 160. It's doable. You remember Bumac saying he believed Crawford got 2-3 fights in him? Well, there you have it right there. In 2 fights, he could become undisputed in the division. Or 3 fights. If they're gonna do 1 fight first before getting to the champions, I don't know how that's gonna play out. But the point is that I saw it coming. I saw him going to 160 because he's showing us that he's trying to keep accomplishing and climbing up the rankings of all-time greatness. Pro Dance League, the fact that he tests himself, he's already better than Floyd because nobody talk about how entertaining his fights are. Floyd fights are boring. And look, that's an interesting talking point. You know that Floyd, he retired arguably as the greatest fighter of all time, right? And most people accept that. Well, most people also forgot the criticism that Floyd used to get when he used to fight. People used to say that he ran too much, that he was pity-patting, that he was just fighting for points, that his fights was boring. All the memes that they used to put out there with Floyd's body, with Floyd's head, Forrest Gump's body, or a runner's body, or a biker's body, like they running inside of the ring. So he got a lot of criticism, but he was a great fighter. He had his style of boxing. Towards the end of his career, he became more defensive. And people didn't enjoy it like that. They just, right now, everybody just know that he's the greatest, but he got booed in his fights and everything. There was some of his fights that people booed. So, Floyd, in a way, was similar to Shakur. And people gonna say, nah, because money made. But you know, most of the biggest names, if you look at the list of the biggest names in Floyd's career, they're in the second half of his career, not in the first half. So all I'm saying is that Floyd Mayweather retired undefeated, and that's what people focus on. And all the champions that he beat, that's what people focus on. They don't focus on the other stuff that they was hating about back then. Like I said, they forgot about that. So it's the same thing with Crawford. He got all the haters, all the people talking about he ain't beat nobody, he ain't done this, he ain't done that. Meanwhile, this guy's turning into the most accomplished fighter of this generation, the one that's accomplishing the biggest feat. Went from being the most hated to the face of boxing. When they denied them those fights, he just kept winning and kept winning and kept winning and winning until they couldn't deny him anymore. You saw what happened when he finally got in the ring with Arrow, gave him the beating of a lifetime. stepped in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, whooped him. And now he's the face of boxing because of it. That's what you call a winner. Yo, my peoples, they're going to do a movie about Terence Crawford. There's going to be a movie about this dude. Watch. You got to think about all the hate Crawford has received about how he didn't beat nobody, how all of his opponents was washed, and all of his opponents was no good. And this is the guy that got the shot against Canelo Alvarez. And even when he got the shot, people said that he was just looking for a payday, that he was going to get beat up, that he had no chance. And look what he does. That's why he's the face of boxing. Tarzan Ropes. That division thing is unfair for heavier guys from 175 and above. They could never become multiple division champs. That doesn't matter. They could still win a title and defend it for a long time and keep beating everybody. It doesn't matter. It's like if you're a heavyweight champion. You're not going to change divisions, but you could unify titles, you could become undisputed, you could keep defending your undisputed crown. You can still accomplish. Doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to. But Tarzan Ropes, when you make that argument, it's almost like you're just sneak hating on Terence Crawford. Because rather than give flowers for his accomplishments, you're like, no, it's not fair because the heavier guys can't do it. Damn, bro, at least give flowers, man. At least give flowers. Sad. Bud is more fan-friendly. Listen, look at what's been happening since Terence Crawford and Canelo fought. I told people he's the face of boxing. They didn't want to believe it. You see Crawford in Japan with the samurai. You see Crawford in Colombia. You see Crawford all over the world. People not understanding what happened that night. Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez in front of over 40 million people all over the world. North America, South America, Central America, Asia, Australia, Europe, Africa. Everybody watched, the world watched. Canelo Alvarez fans, the world watched and understands who's better. Once that happened, it's a wrap. He the face of boxing. Against all odds, look what the guy did. Pro Dance League. But it's what we wish Floyd was on the offensive side of things. And the funny thing about that is that he doesn't get any credit for it. You know, he get credit for his greatness, but a lot of people don't give him credit for the excitement that he brings to his fights, for how entertaining his fights are. Go look at Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, who were right around the same age, and compare it to Crawford versus Canelo. Compare those two fights. And compare what Floyd did to win that fight versus what Crawford did to win this one. People found that fight boring. Mayweather versus Pacquiao, people forget about that. They found that fight boring. Because it was billed as the fight of the century, I think it was. And it didn't live up to the hype. If you remember it, it didn't live up to the hype. Tarzan Rose, Floyd fought like Pretty Boy against McGregor. Wasn't really defensive. He could do both. Bro, McGregor is not a boxer. You talking about a guy with a record of 0-0-0? You gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding, Tarzan Rose. Floyd Mayweather had 50 professional fights, and you brought up Conor McGregor. You gotta be joking, man. Don't do that. It's 7:30 in the morning where I'm at. You really brought up Floyd versus Conor McGregor. You gotta be joking. Pro Dance League. Canelo wouldn't ever say anybody else is better than Floyd. Not true. Usyk. Listen, bro. Canelo said that Terence Crawford was better than Floyd. Imagine that. Canelo himself, who faced both fighters, said that Terence Crawford is better. Imagine that. So Usyk moved up from cruiser to heavy, and some people still say Usyk is above Bud for fighting in one division up. Well, side, I don't know who those people are, but all of the pound for pounders say that Crawford is the guy. All of the respectful pound for pounders say Crawford is the guy. So whoever said that Usyk is the Usyk himself said that Crawford is the guy. So I think that conversation don't even need to be had. Usyk himself said, "Nah, it's Terence Crawford." There you have it right there. Nico, I love how black men support black men. But some black men say, "Y'all do too much." I mean, I don't know what you mean by do too much. All we have to look at is the accomplishments and what's going on in the landscape. Who has the options? Who are people talking about? Terence Crawford, he's the guy. He's the guy. Tarzan Rose. Nah, people say Floyd could fight aggressive. He did in his last fight. He can. Tarzan Rose, the problem is that you talking for people. You know you have a look, let me teach you something, Tarzan. I want to teach you something. I want you to learn this. When somebody says, people say, and we say, you know what that means, Tarzan Rose? That you have such a weak argument that you have to bunch other people's opinion with yours. Because it's not people saying it in this conversation. It's you. So it's me and you talking, and you bringing in people that's not in the conversation to say, well, people say. Don't do that, Tarzan Rose. That just shows that you have a really weak argument. There's nobody else in the chat saying it. So what people are you talking about? I don't know. Don't do it. Don't speak for people. Speak for yourself. You're saying it. Ain't nobody else saying it. See, so you learn something. Wait at least till you see somebody else saying it so that you can say, look, people are saying this. But what are you talking about? Speak for yourself. When you bring other people with your opinion that are not there to speak for themselves, it means you have a weak opinion. Pro Dance League. The Uzi comment was for the 175 comment, but it's the best, and the great was saying it before Canelo. That's fact. That's fact. Listen, Terence Crawford is widely accepted as the greatest fighter of this era right now. Right now, the overwhelming majority of fighters, championship fighters, everybody that you ask will say is Terence Crawford. He's the guy. He's the guy. Nico, he's not the main face in boxing right now. You could get more views talking about Jake. That's the problem, Nico, that you confuse the face of boxing with views because you're a social media fan. It doesn't work that way. Jake got more views than Canelo, and Canelo is still considered the face of boxing. See, you don't understand that concept. Jake Paul gets more views because he's an entertainer, not because he's a boxer. See? That's something that you're not understanding. So that's what happens when you don't understand how it works. You think popularity that Jake Paul brings is boxing. You're not understanding that his whole YouTuber fan base supports him. So he's not the face of boxing. He's just somebody who's very popular who went into boxing. He was already popular when he joined boxing. He has a huge fan base that supports him. That's what you don't understand. His fan base followed him. But, I don't know. So, Nico, let me ask you a question. Are you suggesting that Jake Paul is the face of boxing? Don't talk about what works. You don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But, Nico, are you saying that Jake Paul is the face of boxing? Just help me understand what you're trying to say. Oh, that, Nico, that's what the numbers say. Okay, so since that's what the numbers say, that he's the face of boxing, in this channel is boxing people. And we don't really deal with goofballs that believe that Jake Paul is the face of boxing. So I can't really waste my time with you anymore. You're a goofball and you're a dummy. So I'm going to have to invite you to the block party. Dummy. There goes that dummy. There goes that dummy, my people. That's two. We're going to have to keep count on these dummies. That's two down. Two dummies down, my peoples. so, so again, you know, you have the social media boxing fans that are going to say, no, he's the face of boxing because he's getting views. But at the end of the day, we know who the face of boxing is. Terence Crawford. Now, what's going to be next for him? I don't know. I don't know what's going to be next. But I will say, it's going to be at 160. It's going to be at 160. He already expressed his interest for Johnny Beck. He already said, I got my eye on you. Wish him luck for his next fight. And I'll remind you, my peoples, Johnny Beck, if he beats Erislandis Lara, he's going to hold 3 out of the 4 titles in the division. In case you're not aware, he has 2 titles right now. And Erislandis Lara has 1. So, if he does beat Lara, like most of us expect him to, there's only going to be 2 champions in the 160 division. Johnny Beck and Carlos Adames. Those will be the 2 champions. Ike Mike, peace, J. Smith. Love your comment, bro. From Syracuse, New York. Salute, my brother. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in. My peoples, check it. Box Center 2.0 is live already. New videos dropping exclusively on that channel. And by the way, membership for Box Center are open and running. There's going to be exclusive videos and exclusive lives for members only. So once you become a member, I'm going to be going live, and it's going to be just me and the members. We're going to exchange. We're going to go back and forth. And there's going to be videos that you only, that will be coming. You get this information first. So you already know, man. If you're a member, becoming a member. If you are a Box Center, get ready, because some exclusive videos are dropping. Straight fire. Boxing Junkie. Okay, my brother, I'm off this. Enjoy the rest of your life. Salute, my brother. Bam. Side. I don't think there's any current boxer who has beat more undefeated champions than Terence Crawford. I don't know. I will have to Google it, man, because Terence Crawford has taken on a lot of undefeated fighters. That's facts. Pro Dance League. Bust Stop Porter and Spence and whoop Canelo ass. Reality, Floyd won big fights, but ain't whooped them like that. Well, wait a minute, because Floyd did whoop Diego Chico Corrales. That was a beating, yo. You got to give it to him. Gave Diego Chico Corrales the beating of a lifetime. And by the way, Chico Corrales was the last time that Floyd Mayweather was the underdog in his entire career. After that, he was never the underdog. So you know how good. If you didn't get to watch Chico Corrales fight, this guy was good. This guy was good. He can fight. Floyd Mayweather picked him apart. Floyd Mayweather picked him apart. Boxing Junkie. Gotti as well. Gotti was a great win. I think Gotti was a little bit, on the downslide at that point in his career. He had taken a couple. I don't know if he had taken a couple of losses, 2, 3 losses, maybe more. I'm not sure. But he definitely wasn't in the middle of his heyday. Like Chico Corrales, who was an undefeated champion. And people thought he was going to beat Floyd. I didn't think he was going to beat him, but I thought it was going to be a real good fight. But I remember a lot of people telling me, yo, this guy's going to beat Floyd. Yeah, this guy's going to beat him. And Floyd absolutely picked him apart. I wasn't expecting Floyd to win like that, the way that he won. Side, Ndango, Postol, Horn, Majimo, Spence, all champions, all undefeated. I'm telling you, Terence Crawford's resume is crazy. Only people who don't know nothing about boxing will tell you that his resume is not good. People who don't know nothing about the sport. Oh yeah, his resume is not good. Of course it ain't good. You don't know you don't know a damn thing about boxing. That's why you think Terence Crawford's resume is not good. You don't know shit. Tarzan Rose, Shakur on the Floyd path. Young Gun, salute my brother. Of course, my brother. I've been telling people that Shakur Stevens' career mirrors. It's a mirror of Floyd Mayweather's career. The way that it's playing out. You know why? Because number one, he's accomplishing, right? Just like Floyd, he's accomplishing young. At 28, he's already a 3-division champion, unified champion. So he's accomplishing just like Floyd, right? But this is what make it interesting and the similarities. Floyd Mayweather was the best defensive fighter of his era. He was the most untouchable fighter of his era. Age of 17, salute my brother. He was the guy who it was real hard to see a fight where he actually gets hit hard. Like he gets caught with some real good shots. Flush. It just didn't happen. With Floyd, and Shakur became that same guy who's very hard to hit him. So now, when you look back and when you're honest about Floyd's career, there was a whole fan base that would say that Floyd was too boring, that he run too much, that he be pity-patting. Yo, the internet keeps receipts. Yo, there's endless memes of Floyd Mayweather's head in the body of a runner, in the body of somebody riding a bicycle or a motorcycle. Because people said that he ran too much and that there wasn't enough action in his fights because he was too defensive. But now, his career is over. You have to accept him as one of the greatest of all time. He beat everybody. You don't like the way that he beat some people, he beat them. Same thing that's going on with Shakur Stevenson right now. They keep trying to hate on him. He didn't beat this guy. He didn't beat that guy. People don't want to fight him. How you fight somebody who don't want to fight you? How can Shakur beat Tank if Tank is scared to death and refuse to fight him? He can't do it. He can do what Terence Crawford did until he got his opportunity. Keep beating everybody who they put in front of him. That's it. That's what he could do. And he did. And he has been doing it. So I see Shakur Stevenson's career playing out very similar to the way Floyd Mayweather's career played out. Where people constantly hate, no matter what he does. Because I remind you guys, a lot of people said that he was going to lose to Zepeda. Zepeda is too strong. Zepeda was going to apply too much pressure. Remember that? Remember how his hands is too frail and Zepeda's going to knock him out. People want Shakur to lose the same way they wanted Floyd Mayweather to lose. The same way. I saw it. I lived it. The hate that Shakur gets is identical to the hate that Floyd used to get. Identical, my peoples. That's not an exaggeration. It's not an exaggeration. It is identical. Every single thing that people say about Shakur, they said it about Floyd. Everything. Not an exaggeration. So you can see where he's headed. You can see the direction that he's going in. Shakur is basically Floyd Mayweather 2.0. That's what we're seeing out there. Let that sizzle in your spirit. But Vic, you proving my point because you're saying Teofimo put on a show, Crawford put on a show. Guess what? A lot of times, Floyd Mayweather didn't put on a show. You didn't like it. The people didn't like it. The people said that he ran too much, that he didn't fight, that he was pity patting. And guess what? He still became the face of boxing. So now you're doing the same thing with Shakur. You're looking for people that have a style that you prefer. You're like, no, these guys put on a show. These guys put on a show. Shakur's still going to be the face of boxing, and you're going to find yourself hating on him. You're going to find yourself saying, no, no, no. It shouldn't be that way. He run too much. It is what it is. Fans saying those things did not stop Floyd from becoming the face of boxing. It didn't stop him. And it's not going to stop Shakur either. I'm telling you. You see, I told you guys how Terence Crawford's career was going to play out. And you didn't want to believe it. I don't know why you chose not to believe it. I'm telling you, Shakur is going to be the same thing. He's going to keep winning, 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 while y'all keep hating, hating, hating. It's going to be that way. Boxing junkie. But Floyd didn't get hate in his early career, just toward the end. So not really the same. Bro, I don't know how you got that, boxing junkie, that he didn't get hate. This guy, the moment he beat Genaro Hernandez, the entire Mexico hated him. The first time that he became a world champion against Genaro Hernandez, the entire Mexico hated him. This guy dethroned their champion, their legend. Floyd Mayweather had Mexico against him from the day that he became a world champion. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse because he kept beating Mexican champions. So I don't know how you say that he just got the hate towards the end when this guy was already being called a Mexican champion killer and all that. By the time he beat Canelo Alvarez, it's like, yo, he keep taking out all the Mexican champions. He keep taking out all our guys. But now I disagree. Floyd Mayweather was hated a lot. And it's like the same way that people hated on Crawford when he beat Errol, but they hated him even more when he beat Canelo. It's the same thing with Floyd. It's like every time he beat one of them champions, that hate just kept growing and growing and growing. But all the people that didn't like him built that narrative that he's boring, that he run too much, that people don't like his fights. And yet he still retired after he still became the face of boxing. So Floyd Mayweather became the face of boxing regardless of how people felt. Like him or not, he the face of boxing because you're talking about him. You're arguing about him. You spend your days telling everybody that he's no good. Vic, Chicanito wasn't Mexican. I don't think I say he was. I never say he was Mexican. When did I say that? Like, we're not even talking about that anymore. Well, I guess that's an old comment, but I don't remember saying Diego Corrales was Mexican. Hey, Mike, J. Smith, you think Skull beat Canelo? Honestly, I don't think so. I understand there's a good argument to make to suggest that he beat him because the way he was boxing him. But I'm going to tell you why I don't think he beat him. Canelo Alvarez is the world champion, right? And Skull is the challenger. At no point in that fight did it look like Skull was trying to take it from the champ. He didn't take it from him. That's why I say Canelo won. Skull boxed, stood away from receiving any serious damage, landed some good shots. But he did enough to not get beat up. He did enough to not look bad. But I don't think he did enough to win. He didn't take it from the champ. He didn't try to take it from the champ. To me, that came across like he was trying to lose looking good. Like he chose to not get dominated. Just like Jamel Charlo came across like he just wanted to survive. Skull looked like he wanted to survive and look good doing it. And that was enough for him. I never saw a moment in that fight where it looked like he was actually trying to take it from Canelo. Not one time. Vic, he made a career from the hate. But that's what I'm talking about. What do you think that was about when Floyd Mayweather showed up with full-blown Mexican gear? The Mexican fan base exploded. Some was cool with it. I see Mexicans say, yeah, I love it, I love it. But the majority, nah, they wasn't having it. They saw that as disrespectful. I know Mexicans that was like, nah, F him. So Floyd Mayweather, he was smart. He was like, oh, y'all gonna hate on me? Then I'm gonna become a villain. I'm not gonna be a crybaby. Why you hate me? I want you to like me. Nah, I'm gonna become a villain. I'm gonna give you a reason to hate me. They became the face of boxing just like that. So Floyd Mayweather becoming the face of boxing, it didn't have nothing to do with his power. It didn't have nothing to do with how exciting his fights was. It had everything to do with Floyd, number one, being undefeated, and number two, having the right personality. That's it. That's why he became the face of boxing. That's just the reality. So you say Shakur's not fun to watch, he's boring. Well, people said exactly the same thing about Floyd, and he still became the face of boxing. Tarzan Rose. Floyd had way more haters, though. His name was a lot bigger than Shakur's. Tarzan Rose. I'm going to tell you what mistake you're making right now. You're comparing 28-year Shakur to superstar Floyd Mayweather. But I'm going to help you out, Tarzan Ropes. Let me help you out. Go look at where Floyd was when he was 28 years old. You see, you talking like you think Floyd Mayweather's always been this big superstar. Bro, before Floyd Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya, he wasn't the face of boxing. What you think, Floyd Mayweather was the face of boxing for 50 fights? You don't think he became that? So what you're saying right there, it sounded good inside your head, but the moment it came out, it was horrible. At 28 years old, Floyd Mayweather wasn't no superstar, Tarzan Ropes. His name wasn't big like that. He wasn't the face of boxing. Age of 17, Mike Skull was nowhere close to beating Canelo, despite what the stats say. Judges don't like boxers who run. Now, he lost that fight, man. He lost that fight. Skull wasn't there to try to win. He was there to look good in surviving. That's what it looked like to me. Boxing Junkie, when he became Money Made, is when the hate started because the running didn't start till 147. Age of 17, he tried being the good guy, but everyone tried making him a bad guy. So he went to Pretty Boy. Listen, whatever the reason was, it worked. You see, maybe you didn't like his style. Maybe you didn't like, you said that he was running and too defensive. But then you disliked Floyd the person. So now you started following him, hoping that he lose. People was praying for Floyd to lose. That made him what he became. Having an entire fan base hoping that you lose and trying to always find you a better and a bigger opponent. That's why. Look at Terence Crawford. Go fight. Go fight people. Go fight uh, Usyk. Go fight Benavidez. They want him to fight bigger guys. They want him to fight stronger guys because they want him to lose badly. The same thing with Shakur. Move up, fight this guy, fight that guy. They did that to Floyd too. So that's what you have to understand. When you get to a certain level of greatness, they just gonna keep asking you to fight a bigger guy and a stronger guy. That's a hint right there of Terence Crawford's greatness. Right there, you gotta see it. Say, damn, that's true, man. This guy keep baiting. Everybody in front of him keeps accomplishing, and they keep asking him for another one. And the latest one is the guy that they all said was gonna knock him out. And still they ask for another one. And a bigger one. Think about that. Boxing Junkie, I want you to think about this. How people go from saying that Crawford is too small at 168 to then saying that he should fight 175 pounders. But you thought he was too small at 168. You thought he was going to get knocked out at 168. So now you want him to go to 175? According to your own logic, wasn't he too small at 168? Wouldn't he be too small at 175 according to what you said? I don't get it. Shaggy, happy Thursday, my G. Let's talk boxing. Salute, my brother. Bam! Orange Man Fan Club. He was 28 when he fought Gotti and 30 when he beat Oscar. Well, if you didn't know, when he beat Oscar is when he became the face of boxing at 30 years old. Shakur's 28. There you have it. There you have it. There you have it. And by the way, if Shakur Stevenson beat Teofimo Lopez at 28, that's going to be a bigger win than Floyd's win over Gotti. Because at that time, Gotti had multiple losses. Had already got beat up. Teofimo got one L, and at his age, in his 20s, is more accomplished than Arturo Gotti. Teofimo Lopez a more accomplished fighter than Arturo Gotti. That's not even controversial. Look up the stats. Look up the resume. And I got to tell you, Arturo Thunder Gotti is one of my favorite fighters from that era. One of the guys that I enjoyed watching the most. But if you look at the accomplishments and the resume, Teofimo Lopez is better. So if Shakur beat Teofimo at 28, that's a bigger win than Floyd Mayweather beating Gotti at 28. Let that sizzle in your spirit. So don't compare superstar Floyd Mayweather to 28-year-old Shakur. Because at 28, Floyd Mayweather wasn't a superstar. He was a star just like Shakur is right now. Floyd became a superstar when he beat Oscar. Beat Oscar. He was almost immediately the face of boxing after that, starting getting the biggest pay-per-views and all the money and everything. Before beating Oscar, Floyd Mayweather wasn't even top 10 in earnings. Getting the biggest paychecks, he wasn't even top 10. There was a whole bunch of guys making more money than Floyd Mayweather and bigger names than Floyd Mayweather. So don't compare Shakur to superstar Floyd. Compare Shakur to 28-year-old Floyd. And their careers is right there. About the same level of popularity, similar accomplishments, similar hate from the fans, and they're both the best defensive fighters of their era. I watched Floyd's entire career. I watched Floyd crying at the Olympics. And I watched Floyd's very last fight versus Conor McGregor. Watch the whole career play out. And I'm watching Shakur's career play out. Watched them cry in the Olympics too. Now I see him accomplishing. What can I tell you? Shakur Stevenson is Floyd Mayweather 2.0. That's what we're watching. People refuse to see it, don't want to see it, don't want to accept it because they don't like Shakur. But back then, they didn't like Floyd either. It's the same deal. It's the same situation. The same deal. And what makes it more identical, their careers, is the fact that Floyd got exactly the same hate that Shakur is getting now. Everything that people say about Shakur, they said it about Floyd. Jason Williams, Zab Judah was a bigger name than Floyd at some point. That's a fact. That's a fact. Remember Zab Judah was coming out in all the rap videos? Jay-Z, the biggest rappers, they wanted Zab Judah in their videos. Zab Judah was huge. So people act like Floyd Mayweather was the face of boxing his whole career. Or like he was the superstar his whole career. No, no, no. You got to do a little bit of fact checking. There was a lot of bigger names than Floyd during his career. Until he took over. Well, now you see Terence Crawford took over. He's the face of boxing. Let's see who's going to take over after Crawford. James Rushing. You forget at 28, Floyd hands wasn't hurting. At 28, was putting people out. Was putting people out. Bro, when you look at Floyd Mayweather's resume, he has a 50% knockout percentage, right? So he knocked out 25 of 50 opponents, right? Most of them in the early half of his career. So James Rushing, but you need to understand that if we look at the overwhelming majority of Floyd Mayweather's knockouts, they was early in his career when he was fighting the guys that was 10-2 and 2-5 and 10-3. He got like 15, like 10, 15 of those stoppages, bro. Most of his stoppages is them dudes. So when you're talking about at 28, Floyd was doing all this and that. Look at the title fights that he had. Look at his title fights. Those just went the distance, bro. He wasn't stopping guys. And by the way, the thing is with Floyd that he was so good that he just beat the crap to the ref stop. Not that he never had power. There's people who try to suggest like, oh, he had power. Floyd Mayweather never had power. In his whole career, I think he got 2 knockouts where he actually hit a guy, dropped him, and knocked him out. That was Ricky Hatton, who was rushing in and ran dead flush into a punch and got slept. And I forgot, and the other guy the Mexican kid who headbutted Floyd, and then Floyd punched him and dropped him. But if you look at the overwhelming majority of Floyd stoppages, it was just him punching a guy in and the referee stopping it because you getting beat up. Floyd beat you up. But he was never a power puncher. He was never a guy. Oh, Victor Ortiz. Sorry, that's correct. Victor. But Floyd Mayweather wasn't knocking anybody out. Orange Man Fan Club. Who is Shakur De La Hoya? But Orange Man Fan Club, did we not just say that he's 28 years, that Shakur's 28 years old? He got 2 more years before he could face his De La Hoya because Floyd faces De La Hoya when he was 30. Are you not getting drift over here that careers are identical? While Floyd faced Gotti at 28, Shakur may face Teofimo Lopez at 28. Who you think is better, Gotti or Teofimo? You might like Gotti better, but no one who knows boxing will tell you that Gotti is better. Nobody. Teofimo Lopez is better than Arturo Gotti. And at 28, 29, more accomplished than Arturo Gotti. Won more titles, and I think won in more divisions. So come on now. Shakur Stevenson at 28 is going to have a bigger win than Floyd Mayweather had at 28. You see, that's how you make comparisons when they're at the same age. You're trying to compare 28-year-old Shakur Stevenson to 38-year-old Floyd Mayweather. That's a nice try, but I'm going to catch it and I'm going to call it. Come on now. James Russian, yeah, but Floyd had get back fight. Shakur only got it. You tired or distance fight. I mean, that's the thing that you should. If you accepted it with Floyd, you gotta accept it with Shakur. It's not about how whether you like it or not how he's gonna win. It's about winning. Floyd Mayweather went the distance 25 times. People used to say he run too much. People used to say he was boring. He still became the face of boxing. It didn't matter what people try to say about the way that he wins. Juan Ocasio, what's good, Box Center? Salute, my brother. Bam. Orange Man Fan Club. I understand that. But who, in your opinion, is that big fight that will make him the face? I mean, honestly, I think he just got to keep winning and keep beating champions. That's it. It's not that one guy. You see, Oscar De La Hoya is the guy that put Floyd over the fence. Just like Canelo Alvarez put Terence Crawford over that fence. So right now, Shakur just got to keep winning. I'll give you an example. If Shakur Stevenson beats Teofimo Lopez and Tank Davis comes back and Shakur beats undefeated Tank Davis, he becomes the face of boxing that day. That morning, he wakes up as the face of boxing, bro. Just like that. The face of boxing. And I'm just giving you an example. But the point is that Shakur just got to keep winning. And that's it. Keep beating champions. That's all that has to happen. That's all. And I'm going to tell you, Jerome Bruce Ennis is a fighter who has what it takes to become the face of boxing. But it's going to be Shakur, and I'll tell you why. I want you to consider the fact that Boots became a champion for the first time in the welterweight division when Shakur Stevenson was already a 3-division champion. So Shakur is ahead of Boots in accomplishments. He's also more famous and more popular than Boots. So what happens is, because he's ahead in popularity and ahead in accomplishments, he's going to get to that spot first. And I'll predict the future. You guys know I do that all the time. Test me. Test me. Eventually, you're going to see Shakur Stevenson and Jerome Bruce Ennis fighting for that #1 spot, pound for pound, in the world. You're going to see them going back and forth. The same way that you see Crawford, Crawford, Usyk, and Inoue, you're going to end up seeing Shakur Stevenson, Jerome Bruce Ennis, and I'm not sure who else, fighting for those top 3 spots. And it's going to be Shakur at the top. So that's why I'm telling you that Shakur's career is playing out exactly like Floyd's. He keeps winning. He's the best defensive fighter of this era. A lot of fans don't like him. He has a lot of haters. Their careers are playing out identical. It's identical the way it's playing out. Jason Williams, whoa. You got Bulls becoming top pound for pound fighter? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I got Bulls becoming one of those guys. He's a special fighter. I mean, to me, Boots should be a no-brainer. They should be a no-brainer. No-brainer. Tarzan Rose. Devin fell off. I don't think so. I don't think Devin fell off. I think that his stock did tumble a little bit after his fight with Ryan Garcia. So even though, the outcome was overturned, and that's a no contest now. But the image of Ryan Garcia dropping him multiple times and pummeling him the way he did, it did make his stock tumble a bit. However, what is Devin Haney doing? He's being smart. And of course, he believes in himself, right? Devin Haney and his pops, they know they stock stumbled. They went from talking about they was the face of boxing to not even mentioning that ever again because of what happened with Ryan Garcia, right? But what shows you that they're smart and they believe in themselves? Devin Haney beat Jose Ramirez, and his very next fight, he's fighting the welterweight king in Brian Norman Jr. So what is he doing? He's going after a big dog, the biggest dog in the division. He's going after the biggest dog in the division. And there's people out there that think he's going to lose. There's people out there that think he's going to lose. Boxing Junkie, let me put you on my G. The show is from 6:30 to 8:30 every morning. 2 hours. So within those 2 hours, you go in and out, you're going to find me still on, my guys, where I'm supposed to be at. Jason William, I'm rooting for Abdullah Mason to become a top pound-for-pound fighter in the future. I'm going to be honest with you. Those are my expectations for Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is going to be part of that next group. You know, it's going to be Abdullah. You're going to see Kermel. You're going to see Zaquin Moses. And you're going to see a lot of these young lions. You're going to see a lot of them taking over the sport when the time is right. But I'm looking forward, man, to Abdullah Mason. You know, he's already about to become a world champion. Slowly but surely, you're going to see Kermel climbing up the ladder. Listen, Kermel Moulton and Zaquin Moses, my peoples, that's a fight. That's a fight. Jazz Party, who Crawford fighting? Well, we don't know who Crawford is fighting next. They're saying that the fight is going to take place in March, right? Supposedly it's going to take place in March, but I want you to take this into consideration. Johnny Beck is going to fight Lara. Right now, Johnny Beck has 2 titles, and Lara has 1. So when they fight, that's going to be unification. And if Johnny Beck wins, which is what we expect, he's going to have 3 belts. And the remaining belt, which is the green one, the WBC, is being held by Carlos Adames. So it looks like soon there's going to be 2 champions in the 160 division, Johnny Beck and Adames. What is Crawford going to do next? I don't know. He did call out Johnny Beck. He did say, Johnny Beck, I got my eye on you. Good luck on your next fight. Is he going to try to fight him next? I don't know. But based on his own words, I would expect Terence Crawford to be fighting in the 160 division, most likely for a title. Looks like that's what he wants to do. Juan Ocasio, if the Haneys lose to Norman, we might not hear from them again for a while. I mean, I think that depends. I think if they lose in a competitive, close fight, Devin will be back in the ring within 5-6 months, if it's a good fight. Now, if he get pummeled and he get knocked out, yeah, he might be out of boxing for a year, maybe even a little bit longer. But you got to understand, Devin Haney is super young. All these guys, they're young. They can afford to take some time off. Super young, super accomplished. Look at Tank Davis. He's dealing with that controversy. If he wants to, he could lay low and retire from boxing for 1 to 2 years and still come back in his prime and accomplish. We just have to see how it plays out. Raphael 32, Noakes might upset Mason. Look, man, I know that Noakes is nice. I don't know how nice he is because I've only seen highlights. I haven't really seen followed him like that. I know he's nice, but honestly, I think Abdullah Mason might be in the toughest fight of his career, but he's gonna win that. Abdullah Mason is such a special fighter. I know Noakes is special too, man. Two young, undefeated. This is a great fight. Two young, undefeated fighters. You know, hungry, both hungry lions. Let's see it, man. But Abdullah Mason, I don't see him losing, bro. For real. Jazz Party. So Crawford fighting 2 times next year. If at 160, I got Lara. Johnny Beck ain't no boogeyman. No. I don't know how many times Crawford is fighting next year, but if he's fighting in March, then I think it's a possibility that he's fighting twice in the year. If he's fighting in March, I think it's possible. Um, who is he gonna fight? Honestly, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But I will tell you, Rafael, I got Johnny Beck beating Lara. I got him beating Lara. You say he's no boogeyman, but Boo Boo avoided that fight. Johnny Beck and Boo Boo were supposed to fight each other. And Boo Boo wasn't having it. He didn't fight him. So, make of that what you will. But I will tell you, there's a reason why Johnny Beck is a unified champion. The guy can fight. He's a legitimate champion. And he's a big dude, bro. This guy like 5'11", bro. Big dude. James Rushing. I don't think it's going to be close. Devin is an OG. Nah, I don't know. I don't know, man. About it's not going to be close. I'm going to tell you like this, James Rushing. When it comes to Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., I expect a super competitive fight. Super interesting showdown. And you know why I say that, James Rushing? And I want you to remember that I told you this. This fight is not going to play out the way we saw Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Why? Jose Ramirez is a flat-footed fighter who's just going to come forward and apply pressure. Perfect for Devin Haney's style, who was able to dance circles around him. Made it look easy. I'm going to refer you to Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, that was more of a slugfest, right? They traded a lot more. Why? Because Vasyl Lomachenko has the footwork and the athleticism to stay in front of Devin Haney for 12 rounds. So that fight, Devin Haney couldn't dance around Lomachenko. He had to fight him. You saw a lot of counterpunching and a lot of exchanges. Why? Because you got a guy who's going to stay in front of you and he's going to let his hands fly. He forced Devin Haney into a fight. Well, Brian Norman Jr. has the type of athleticism and the footwork to stay in front of Devin Haney and to make him fight. He's not going to be able to dance circles around Brian Norman Jr. the way that he did on Jose Garcia's or Jose Ramirez. It's not going to be that type of fight. So Devin Haney is going to have to win a lot of exchanges on the inside and especially avoid that devastating blow. We seen Norman Jr.'s last 2-3 fights, how they ended, explosive knockouts. So, you know, to say it's not even going to be close, I don't know, man. I don't agree with that. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be interesting. And it might even boil down to the championship rounds. Who's going to win those? It might go down to that. Side, Andre avoided Johnny Beck. I said that earlier. Facts. Boo Boo could have fought him and chose not to. Boxing Junkie. Boo moved up to face David. Boo Boo didn't duck Johnny Beck. He just wanted the bigger bag, so he went David. You see, that's the problem. Boxing Junkie. Sometimes you could say it's a duck. Sometimes you could say it's not a duck. You could give the fighter an excuse. But I'm going to tell you what's the problem with your excuse. First, Johnny Beck became Boo Boo's mandatory, and Boo Boo said, I won't fight him. Then it went to purse bet. He said, no, I won't fight him. And then the second time they went to a purse bet, finally Boo Boo said, nah, I'm out of here. And he left the division to fight. So before fighting Benavidez, or before pursuing Benavidez, Boo Boo had been ducking this dude for like 1.5 years or 2 years, bro. Been ducking him. Benavidez came after. When he became the mandatory, Benavidez wasn't even an option. Benavidez had like 2 fights since this guy was Boo Boo's mandatory. So that's a bad excuse. You can't wait for years not to fight somebody, and then when you find an opponent, oh yeah, I didn't fight him because look at this opponent. What? That opponent wasn't even available last year. Benavidez wasn't even available when Johnny Beck first became mandatory, and they even went to purse bid. What it will, Ilya Topuria will beat Crawford. You need a 24-hour break. Well, actually, not. You just need to get kicked out of here for that dumb shit. You're bringing up an MMA guy gonna beat Crawford. I was gonna give him a 24-hour break, but my finger just said, "Now you gotta block this dummy, dummy." Side, Water Wheels. Well, Ilya #1, PFP and MMA. Silly comment. I'm telling you, man, I don't be having time for that. Orange Man Fan Club. I don't be having time for that, my peoples. It's a black party today. I mean, we've been at it for an hour and a half, and only 4 people got blocked this morning. So, I think I'm taking it easy, if you ask me. JJ's in there. Jay Smith, get him the fuck out of here. You see, we're not dealing with the goofballs. We're not dealing with the dummies. We ain't got no time for that. Listen, my people. Let's keep it 100. As of right now, the options for Terence Crawford, 4 already? Okay, man. You know, I've never made it. I think I never made it to 10 blocks in one live. I think the most is like 7 or 8. So, we working on it, my peoples. Boxing Junkie, to say he ducked Ginepi and stepped up and F David Benavidez is far fat. He didn't duck today. I know I actually talked to Boo Boo, and Boo Boo was just looking for a bigger bag. He was looking for a bigger bag, but again, he didn't fight. He didn't fight the guy. He didn't fight who he was supposed to fight. So if you was talking to Boo Boo, he lied to you. Boo Boo lied to you. I mean, he was trying to get the bigger bag, but before that, what happened? Duck. JJ's in the house. Jay Smith, send to your new channel. Boxing for goofballs. Side of goofballery. I'm telling you, my people, we not having the goofballery. We doing it quick. Why am I going to send you on a break so you could come back with the same dummy comments tomorrow? We don't need it. Boxing Junkie, remember, Boo Boo is a young fighter. He's at the end of his career, and just like old fighters are looking for a bag. But it's that you're talking about the end of his career now. We're talking about years ago. This is not now. This is years ago. And the thing is, Boxing Junkie, what makes that what you're saying wrong is that this is years ago, and Boo Boo spent like 2 years of inactivity, bro. Over a year of inactivity. How are you going to tell me he's chasing the bag, but he's inactive and not fighting anybody? Don't you think he would have been better? Let's say he just made $1 million, right? Or 800,000. I think the purse bid 800. Let's say 800,000. Don't you think that 800,000 would have been better than making nothing and being inactive? That's the thing. You're talking about chasing a purse that he didn't get, that he don't have. So he eventually got a fight. But how much time of inactivity did he spend during the time that this was mandatory? All that time of inactivity, he could have got paid. And he did it. He didn't get a fight. Superman, you missed all my comments, Jay Smith. And I'm driving, trying to... Oh, nah, hold on. You driving, I got to holler at you, Superman. Let me go back. Superman. Hold on, because you're over here driving. Hold on. Superman, that's not true about him wanting to fight. They tried to get it, but couldn't. Superman, we will also see the bogus stuff Bill tried to put in the contract when the fight is over, because as I said before, Junior is going to say it. Side, water wheels. Oh shit, I went way up. Superman, nah. He couldn't find a fight. It's his promotion company. They trash. That company got a lot of people inactive. And I agree with you, bro. They have a lot of people inactive. But then that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you have a guy who's your mandatory, who you could get a fight, are you going to choose to stay inactive because you're looking for a bigger bag? Get a fight, make some money. You're going to be broke if you don't fight. You got to make money. Just do boxing. Salute, my brother. Bam. You got to make money. How do you stay? Like, I'll give you an example. And I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. Think about the whole situation with Tank Davis, right? His fan base all said that he made the right decision because he was going to get the bigger bag. You guys remember that? Tank Davis was going to get the bigger bag. And we would all do the same thing too. Remember that? Well, we already know what happened. We don't have to get into details. But he's not getting that bag anymore. So now that you know he's not getting that bag anymore, was that still the right decision? I want you to think about it. If he would have fought the rematch with Lamar Roach, Lamar Roach would have been the B side of a TGD promotion card. And the B side, getting a career payday, was not going to pull out on Tank Davis over allegations. Tank Davis had allegations in the past before fights, and the fight still happened. So what was the difference now? Well, the difference now, there's not a TGD promotion. This is not Al Heyman. And Tank Davis is the B-side. So he walked away from that rematch to get that bag as the B-side. Well, guess what? He got fired on his day off. Got fired. Not getting that bag. That bag that fans were celebrating for him. He's going to get all this money. He's going to get the money. We would all do the same thing too. Well, if you all did the same thing as Tank Davis, you'll be looking like a goofball right now. A goofball. Walked away from a rematch, 15, 20 million to chase the bag. What bag? There is no bag. There's no bag. So now that you see that there is no bag for Tank Davis with Jake Paul, do you still think that it was a good idea to duck that rematch with Lamar Roach? Go ahead. All those people that say, I would do the same thing too. What would you do now then? Would you go back and do that rematch? Because that was the excuse. Wasn't the excuse that, well, you know, it's not a duck because he's going to make a lot of money and we would all do the same thing too. That was the excuse. So I need to understand. Let me know, what will you do now that there's no rematch? You guys let me know. Boxing Junkie, Tank is the leader of goofballery. I mean, I don't think he's the leader of goofballery. I think he just don't got the right team around him. I think he don't got the right team around him. He need help. He got mental health issues that he's dealing with. And he just needs somebody to hold him accountable for the things that he doesn't do right. For somebody to point him in the right direction. So he start making the right decisions. But this whole thing that people celebrated backfired badly. And you know why it backfired the way that it did? Because Tank Davis didn't recognize that you're the B-side. This isn't a TGD promotion. And you're working for somebody else. This is an MVP promotion. You guys didn't see no TGD promotion logos anywhere in the advertisement for this. Anyway. This is an MVP promotion being aired on Netflix. Tank Davis is the B-side. You got hired. You got hired to fight Jake Paul in the exhibition. They hired you. And you signed a contract, you agreed. Well, guess what? They fired you on your day off. You're fired. We don't want you. Because Tank failed to recognize that the things that I can do in my circle, in my company, around a B-side fighter that got to do what I say, is not the same things that I could do in somebody else's company when I'm the B-side fighter. If the fight was going to be with Lamar Roach, it would have still went down. Now there's no fight. So was it a good decision for him to pull out on that rematch and chase a fight that never happened? If you understand what's going on right now, it was a horrible decision. It was a horrible decision. The right thing to do would have been rematch. That guy. You're a boxer. He's a boxer. You're undefeated. Anticipate a rematch. That was the right thing to do. But your greed and fan base greed for other people money have people like, no, get the bag. He's doing the right thing. We would do it too. You see what greed does, my people? Think about it. He could have made $15, $20 million against Lamar Roach. Is there anybody in this chat that got 15, 20 mils in the bank? Is there anybody in this chat who has family members that got 15, 20 mils in the bank? That's the type of money that most people will never see in their life. The money that he would have made versus Lamar Roach, most of us will never see it in our life. Yes, somehow us 9-to-5ers can sit here and say, well, he was chasing the bag. Like 15, 20 million is not a bag to us. That's not a bag. That's why I be thinking, yo, people delusional? How the hell you make $50,000 a year and you acting like 15, 20 million dollars is not a bag? What? What are we doing? People delusional. Tank Davis would have made a hella bag with Lamar Roach. A hella bag. But this is what greed does. It make people act like Jake Paul's a bag and this 15, 20 million is just a little bit of money. What? What are we doing? $15 million could be a little bit of money to Floyd Mayweather. It could be a little bit of money to Bill Gates. But $15 million can't be a little bit of money to your goofy ass who work 9 to 5 and make 40, 50,000 a year. That's a fortune. That's wealth. Generational wealth. Come on. But that's what greed does. Juan Ocasio, you say he already has it though, and it's trying to max out. But that's what greed does. He trying to max out, and what he getting? Nothing. What he getting with Jake Paul? Zero. Zero, bro. Therefore, it was a horrible decision. Horrible decision. That's like you having one little duck right there and 5 ducks over there. And you got that shotgun. You're like, I'm going to take all 5 of them with this shotgun. Boom! You miss all of them. But you make noise, so the one that you could have flew away too. Now you miss all the ducks, being a goofball, trying to get all of them at once. Now your ass gonna be eating lettuce and tomato for lunch with nothing, because the duck got away. So the point is, if you're smart, you're gonna shoot that duck that's right there, instead of trying to shoot all 5 because you're greedy. This is what greed does. The bigger bag. Oh my God, the bigger bag and the most money. And I want to tell you something, my peoples. You guys know that, and I've been lucky. I've been lucky that when it comes to Box Center and Boxing for Breakfast, People from all over have embraced the channel. And I appreciate a salute to everybody who's tuning in from wherever you're tuning in from, right? But the majority of the people who come on the show are in the USA. The majority. However, there's people from Australia, there's people from North and South America, Central America as well. There's people from Europe. So there's people from Africa. There's people from all over the world, right? That's joining in, that's chiming in the chat from the UK in the building. So this is my point when I say that. The American fan base is the one that tends to focus more on the money aspect of boxing. When I look at the comments from everywhere, people are talking about who's gonna be who, or who is better than who, or the aspect of the predictions. But it's the American fan base and usually it's Tank Davis fans that are more focused on who's making more money, who's gonna make more money, who's putting more butts in seats. Matter of fact, the phrase butts in seats, I don't think I ever heard it outside of a Tank Davis fan. I've never heard any fighter's fan saying, oh no, but he's putting butts in seats. Only Tank Davis fans. And I just can't understand. It's like the PBC, Al Heyman, LRB, Tank, they've been successful at creating a narrative and making their fans repeat it for them. And believe it. Believe that is real. JJ's in the house. Crawford next fight might be at middleweight to unify the winner of Johnny Beck and Lara or WBC champion Carlos Adames. We will see. No matter who he fights, it's going to be a good one. I agree with you 100%. Johnny Beck or Adames, those are both great fights. And I think they're both inevitable. If Terence Crawford is looking to become undisputed, those fights are inevitable. They're bound to happen. Boxing Junkie. Everybody's talking about Johnny Beck versus Bud. But if Lara win, can Bud win a fight chasing Lara around? Oh, Lara will be at the easy money for Crawford. Easy money. Lara, he's not going to have the athleticism to be able to keep up. He's going to be an easier matchup for Crawford. Juan Casio. Now, the boxers talk around money. That's all they talk about. A lot of them. I don't know what you're talking about, Juan Ocasio. I see them talking about money. I see Shakur talking about Teofimo. I see Devin talking about Brian Norman Jr. I see Ryan Garcia talking about Mario Barrios. I don't know what you're talking about. I see all these fighters trying to fight the best. Look right here in the comments. It's only you and other Tank Davis fans always talking about money. I don't see nobody else. It's only you guys. And then when you say boxers talk about it, I guess sometimes boxers do talk about it, but that's their job. They're making money. You're not making money. Why are you talking about it? That's what I don't understand. Why are you so interested in talking about other people's money? You celebrated Tank's money for like, I don't know how many weeks. He's going to get the bag, and I would do the same thing too. Well, he didn't get no bag. That should show you that you should not celebrate other people's money, especially when they don't even have it yet. They don't even have the money, and you celebrated it already. Y'all got to stop doing that. Y'all got to stop doing that. Boxing Junkie, the whole PBC was like that. And you see what the PBC is going through. A lot of people inactive. A lot of fighters haven't been in a ring in a long time. Fighters fighting on different networks. PBC, the best thing that could happen for the PBC is if Top Rank goes to Amazon Prime too. Because remember, their deal with ESPN ended, and I think soon they won't be showing cards on ESPN anymore. So if they go to Amazon Prime, now you're going to have PBC and Top Rank on the same under the same network or the same app, and that means that you're going to see a lot of their fighters matching up against each other. And you're going to see a lot of fights. JJ's in the house. 4:40 California time. I think time change messed me up for watching your show earlier. Here you are still, so I appreciate you, my brother. Side. you would do the same thing too. You know how corny people sounded? We would all do the same thing too. We would do what Tank Davis did. Well, if you would do what Tank Davis did, you would look like a goofball right now because he ain't getting no money. Got fired on his day off. That's what you would have been doing, like a goofball, getting fired on your day off. JJ said, "Now I feel today because all the fighters I like are making millions." Like, bro, all these people are making millions. All these people are making money. You know how goofy it looks when people who don't have millions argue about people who got millions, talking about this guy's making more money and this guy got like the pocket watching with Tank Davis went to another level, my peoples. It went to another level of pocket watching where people celebrate the money that somebody else is making. I was telling you guys about that yesterday. Juan Ocasio, I'm only talking money, no Juan Ocasio. Almost every live where Tank Davis come up, you bring up money. Whatever. If we talking about the Tank Davis allegation, you somehow bring up that he making money and that he's going to continue to make money. If we talk about he's ducking fighters, you talk about he's making more money than them. If we talk about he should fight this guy, you say no, he's making more money. You're always bringing up Tank Davis money, bro. He's never going to send you a check. What is the point? You not a millionaire, I'm not a millionaire. Let's stop with this money stuff, bro. We don't need to be talking about money that me and you don't have. Y'all gotta stop doing that. Stop. Just stop doing it. Let millionaires talk about their millions. Me and you don't fit in that conversation. As bad as you want to talk about it, it ain't for us. It ain't for us, my people. All these people, they millionaires. Crawford is a millionaire. Tank is a millionaire. Shakur is a millionaire. All these guys got millions of dollars. They fight for millions of dollars. You know how you look arguing about somebody's millions and about who got more money and who's making more money? Nah, man. Put that energy into you trying to become a millionaire so you could argue about your millions and not about somebody else's. I say this to fans every day. My people, stop arguing. Stop wasting a second of your life arguing about other people's money, arguing about what they got and what they're going to make for the next fight and how they making the most. That's not going to do nothing for you. I don't know if you guys fantasize, by yourself, I guess maybe riding with Tank in the Ferrari together or counting Tank money with him. I don't know if you fantasize stuff like that, my people, but y'all got to stop doing that already. It's like when Tank retires, I guess y'all gonna retire with him. We're gonna get rid of the people that want to be talking about people's money. Green Ranger, Shaggy. We're talking about boxing, not money. That's after the fight. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. But we digressed. I know Tank Davis fans love to talk about the money. We digress. Right now, Terence Crawford is already being reported that he's fighting in March. Who is he going to fight? We don't know. We just know that he did call out Johnny Beck. Johnny Beck already expressed interest in fighting him. Johnny Beck is going to have 3 out of the 4 belts in the 160 division. Juan Ocasio, Tankomaniacs assemble. Bring them on. So, basically, we're going to end up with only 2 champions at 160. Johnny Beck, who's going to have 3 belts, and Carlos Adames, who's going to have the WBC title. So I guess it's safe to assume that Crawford is going to fight one of them too. But he expressed interest in Johnny Beck. Could that be his next fight? Let's see. But if Terence Crawford decides that he wants to become undisputed, then Carlos Adames is going to be in the way of that happening. And that's a fight I'd like to see. I've been saying it, man. I'm trying to speak it into existence, my peoples. Anyways, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. We did not break a record. Only 4 people got blocked today. 4 goofballs, 4 dummies that got blocked today. That was it. But I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in. Superman, Juan Ocasio, JJ Zendejas, Shaggy, Green Ranger, and everybody else who tuned in, man. I really appreciate you guys. Just Do Boxing, Boxing Junkie, Sai. Ya ustedes saben, mi gente. It is what it is. Boxing for breakfast. And by the way, my peoples, again, don't forget 2 things I want to tell you. Number 1, subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Remember, exclusive content is dropping on that channel. Any video that you see on there will only be on that channel. And I'm also dropping exclusive videos for exclusive Box Center members. So my peoples, if you become a member of the channel, you're going to get exclusive videos. You're also going to get exclusive live. In those live, I'm going to be live, and it's only going to be me and the members. You guys will be able to join me on screen. I'm also going to have a chat, a live chat, a WhatsApp that you guys will be able to call in, and we're actually going to be trash talking over the phone. Imagine, it's going to be crazy. So again, Box Center 2.0, subscribe. Box Center membership, yo, become an exclusive member, my peoples. Y'all know Jay Smith don't miss. I got special things for you guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. You see it. I'm Jay Smith. This is Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. My peoples, one love to everybody, man. Without you guys, by the way, I tell you this almost every day, but I have to tell you, without you guys, this show would not be what it is. Boxing for Breakfast is because of you guys. And I almost left without giving you the last words of the day. I got to give it to you. I got to give it to you because I know when I end the show without the Jay Stradamus last words of the day, some of you hit me up privately. I know. Yo, Jay, what happened? You didn't do the words of the day. What's going on? So let me give you guys the Jay Stradamus words of the day so we could get this Thursday kicked off the right way. MAW, salute, my brother. Bam! Check it, my peoples. You see how we was talking during this live about people celebrating other people's money. Oh, yeah, no doubt. Good day to the goofballs, too. And to the dummies. You know how we talking about Cameron Terrell, salute, my brother. We talking about celebrating other people's money and celebrating other people's accomplishments. My peoples. And I say this all the time when I'm sharing the Jay Stradamus words of the day. Don't forget to take care of you and to do for you. Because no matter how much you sit there and you celebrate somebody else's accomplishments and somebody else's money, you ain't never going to get any of that. None of these athletes are going to give you a Ferrari or give you a chain or tell you, let's go hang out with me. Let's party together. That's never going to happen. So if you fantasizing about these people's money and these people's wealth, stop fantasizing and do for yourself, my people. Find a way. The people who love to talk about money usually are the people that don't have it. You don't see these people talking about money and talking about millions and talking about... It's the people that don't have it, that are obsessed with it. So all you talk about is millions of dollars. Instead of spending all that time and energy talking about millions of dollars, figure something out that could maybe help you make millions of dollars. It's possible. There's people who become millionaires in their 50s, in their 60s. Colonel Sanders, the guy from Kentucky Fried Chicken, I think this guy was like 65 years old when he came up with that shit. So you could become a millionaire too instead of spending all that time, all that effort, debating about other people's money. Yo, put that shit on yourself. Figure something out for yourself that you could do for yourself. And then you could celebrate yourself. Be like, yo, look what I did. So those are the Jay Stradamus words of the day, my peoples. Look out for yourself. Take care of yourself. Celebrate yourself. Find ways to accomplish so that you can celebrate you. And do not celebrate other people's money. Do not. You could give somebody a compliment. You could give somebody a compliment on their accomplishments. You could give them a compliment on how much money they're making because of their hard work. That's awesome. But when you bring it up as a talking point to every conversation, now you need to take that kizak out your mouth, stop celebrating other people, and start finding ways to do for yourself. There you have it, my peoples. I'm Jay Smith. This is Boxing for Breakfast, where you get that healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Salute to everybody who tuned in. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Y'all know what we do. Yo, one love to everybody. Bam.